This whole thing about America invading Greenland has the world up in arms. And it may ruin your plans as an American expat. You want to listen to the end of this video because what just happened over this weekend is quite frankly crazy. Like, it's not even the end of the weekend yet, but countries like France, Germany, Denmark, and the United Kingdom have some things to say. A lot has developed over the weekend, as it always does. So hit the like button. But this is such a strange time because since the year 1812, we haven't seen America and France be at odds with each other. In fact, Greenland itself is typically known to be like a very quiet, politically stable area. But just over this past weekend, the Greenlanders were out at the U.S. Embassy in Greenland protesting, saying we don't want the tiny hand man with his hands on Greenland. I was like, wow. I saw one time it was like the tiny hand man.
I don't know. Look,
they are going off.
Leave a comment below if you thought that you would be living in this time. We see nations rising against nations. You get what I'm saying? So this is a prolific time to really think about your next move and really think about the future, because things are just heating up day after day as we see. If it's not one thing, it's another. And if you're not paying attention to these things that's happening right now, because the whole world is talking about this. The whole world is talking about it. So you should be researching, you should be really planning to exit America, because everybody's turning against America in real time.
Yes, absolutely. People are turning against America in real time. And so it's becoming even more critical for you to choose a neutral territory. No longer can you pop up in Uganda, which, by the way, the Ugandan embassy just sent an alert to Americans saying, get out or stay in, because protests are actually happening in Uganda right now. It's not enough to go to Brazil because they have a great digital nomad visa, but protests happen. It's not enough to go to Mexico, where they're protesting, and the State Department warned about Mexico and other South American countries, telling Americans, be careful when you're there, because there are aircrafts that are going up in the air right now in preparation for the next phase of whatever President Donald Trump wants to take over in South America. And so America's closest ally, France and the United Kingdom, may now become quote unquote enemies, for lack of a better term. And you may be like, well, why do you say that? Well, let me tell you what just happened. President Donald Trump announced that he is going to place tariffs on the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Denmark, Belgium, and any other European country, or country anywhere for that matter,
that stands up,
that decides to stick up for Greenland and support Greenland. He said, if you don't act by June, these tariffs are going to go on you, because we're either going to do this the easy way 1st. Or the hard. It's February 1st?
February 1st, 10%. And then June is going to bump up to 25%. So he's trying to, play his game that he plays, because you got to think about the first round when he was talking about tariff. Of course, everybody was like, no, we're not doing that. And then they started, was like, okay, yeah, we got to do it. So it's like, okay, we got to see how this is going to play out. But the most important thing is you got to do your research about the country that you are going to move to or visit it. Because, look, everything is everything. You really got to think.
You need geopolitical strategy. This is what we just covered in the State of the Diaspora, which is finished for right now. But right now we do have the Mature Adult Intensive open cohort 5, because you are going on to week 4 of cohort 4. And there's people that are expats in Belize and in Thailand and in different countries that say, hey, I only want to be in neutral territory, because there's only a couple of countries that even exist on Earth right now that have neutral territory with America. Like, who would have thought we would see the day that Americans can no longer find neutral territory in Europe? Because if you're an American in France, you may want to look over your shoulder. If you're an American in the UK, you may want to look over your shoulder. If you're an American in Germany, in Doha, Qatar, in Dubai, you may want to start looking at these things. This is why it's so important to share these videos. But I want you to think about Greenland real quick, because it sits uncomfortably close to Russia's military infrastructure and directly within NATO's infrastructure Arctic footprint. And for the US, this is not abstract geography. This is defense positioning, and to President Donald Trump and the military, it's a life or death scenario, one in which they do not want anybody to be neutral. They want these clear sides to be picked. But unfortunately for the United States of America, their old allies are saying, actually, we don't want to side with you. Now, here's the thing. I don't think even if when Germany, UK, Denmark, France, actually the exception may be the UK, they did not send troops into Greenland just yet. But like Denmark, France, and a few other ones sent troops into Greenland to fight for the Greenlanders, okay? But America could probably still win that war against them. You know who it's going to take to stand up to the plate? It's going to take China. Because China is the only real military superpower that actually has the technology that could go hand to hand with America. Because what most people, especially in Europe, don't know about America or don't realize is how modernized, how sophisticated the military technology is. And so you have to match that sophistication with another sophisticated nation, which would be China.
Yeah, the technology now is just, man, you can't even imagine what happened in Venezuela. That was different. We was watching a video about it, and I'm like, whoa, that was different. So like she was just saying, like you have to match America's technology, and China is pretty much the only place, possibly Russia, possibly North Korea, because we know North Korea, they got nuclear power. So like I said from the beginning, nation is rising against nation. So this is a time where you really got to pay attention and make the right moves, for sure.
Absolutely. And this is why for you as an expat, you cannot ignore this. You have to understand that as an expat, this can affect whether you get a freelance visa in Germany, a freelance visa in Qatar, a freelance visa in France. These nations are going to begin to close their borders to Americans if they have not done so already. And when you see protests erupting throughout the earth, Greenland, Uganda today, both these countries, for different reasons. Greenland's protest is against President Donald Trump. Uganda is because of the political instability in that area. But both of these are good reasons for you to take a geopolitical analysis before you exit America or while you are in preparation to leave America. This is why you want to go to www.journeywithus.com/services and read the enrollment guide for the mature adult intensive. But again, I do have some bad news for you. We only allow 4 people into the cohort. We go 4 weeks every single week with a 40-page curriculum designed specifically for you, designed by me, obviously. But listen, somebody already signed up. And today is mid-January, and so we begin February 8th. And so by the time this video gets out, as many views we have on this channel, 257,000 per month, I'm just not sure that there'll be any space for you unless you read that enrollment guide right now and see if it's the right time for you. Because this is a time expats can't ignore. We're literally making history, but you want to be on the right side of history. Yeah. You want to think about your legacy, your generations after you, what you can do as a potential Daniel or a Joseph of your lineage, of your family, no matter how young or old you are. If you are being called to this, then act on it quickly. Yeah. Because the window is closing. Americans understand. Once President Donald Trump put out that trade issue with Europe, the United Kingdom, like the main European powers, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, usually they're very, very close allies. They hit back just today, hours later, and you know what they said? Well, we're going to break our trade alliances with America. And I was listening to some political people and journalists, and they were saying, that's going to cause the prices in the U.S. as if they were not bad enough, as if it was not horrible enough to have to survive and live in America. Scrupulous amounts of debt, bread costing more, eggs, meat, steak, everything costing more, wax vegetables. They're not even real foods. But now the prices are going to increase even more because there's going to be no more BMWs going to America. If they stop trade alliances, that's a German company.
Yeah.
There's going to be no more Louis Vuitton. That's a French company. There's going to be no more. What else do they have?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but they got some stuff that can really cripple the American economy because remember, America owes most of her debt to China, Japan, France, and the UK.
Yeah, that is something to think about. So that's why I said earlier about, before, of course, they trade with each other. And the first round of tariffs, when Donald Trump announced that, they needed to continue trade because that's a big part of their economy too, is trading with America. So Donald Trump, he's actually saying like, this is our hand. We are a consumer nation. So tariffs is gonna be higher, the price for taxes and stuff is gonna be higher, or you're gonna have to agree with us. So that's basically what's happening, and it seems like these other nations, they're not agreeing. They're starting to stand up to, America, and that's something to really prepare for. It's happening. It's happening in real time. Like, that's what people have to understand. I know everyone has an everyday life and has to deal with what they have to deal with, but this thing is not going to stop. It's just going to get worse and worse. This is just the beginning. Put it like that. This is the beginning of 2026, and January is almost over. Think about that. The first month of 2026 is almost over.
Yeah, it started with a banger. And here's the expats who are most at risk, because not all expats are created equal, just like we tell you. Not all African countries are created equal. Not all Asian countries are created equal. There are territories that are more neutral and safe for you as an American, because this is no longer just about speaking to Westerners, but now I'm speaking directly to Americans. When you are in an escalating world where people do not like your president, whether you elected him or not, whether you like him or not, they're looking at you as well because you hold that blue passport. So for expats that are exposed, they are going to face short-term visa risks. These are the people that digital nomad and only do it in 30, 60, 90-day increments. These are the people that may go from one place to another place in a short span of time. It's not time for that anymore. If a country does not have a clear path to a 5, 10, or 20-year residency, do not waste your time in that country. 1 year is not going to cut it. 2 years not going to cut it. Definitely 90 days for dang sure ain't going to cut it, because World War III, it's already starting.
Yeah.
They're already protesting at the embassy. So what do you think they're going to say to you coming into the border every 5 seconds?
Yeah. And this is exactly what we go over in the Mature Adult Intensive. We ask the question. We tell them, do the research on the country that you are thinking about moving to for 12 months about the political, what is it? The political...
Geopolitics.
Yeah, the geopolitics. What will happen if protest happens? You get what I'm saying? Has this country had a protest in the last year? How did the citizens react to certain things?
Yeah.
Because you have to think about that. If you go to a country and the citizens start tearing up the whole city, you might not want to go outside, or you're not able to go outside for 3 days. Is your refrigerator packed? You get what I'm saying? Do you have food in the house and stuff? Because these things actually happen in these countries. This happened in Tanzania when we were there. They had a message sent to everybody's phone stay in the house. The elections, the internet's going to be off. If you need to shop a couple days beforehand. So, like I say, man, this is real life, and people really got to take this move that they are preparing to do very serious. If you go to a country and be locked down in that country, will you be happy? Will you be joyful? Will you be peace? Like, will peace be there for you?
Will you be safe?
Yeah, will you be safe?
Or will they be coming with guns and and arrows and all types of stuff? Because we're in a different world.
Yeah.
And so the other segment of people that this really hurts, the other segment of expats, is retirees and families. Now, you guys know we are a large family. We also help out a lot of people who are of a mature adult age, because these are the people that are impacted the most when you have little ones, or when you need excellent health care, where you need something that's going to be able to support you. You need that infrastructure. I know Kenya is a pretty decent place to have that infrastructure. There are certain places in Africa and around the world that are still okay to operate in, still want Americans to come, and their government still welcome them. They process multiple year residencies, but families and retirees, mature adults, those are the ones that are left exposed. Because if you're a backpacker, you're just going from place to place. You're like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is great. I can jump on the plane. I can jump on the boat. But you can't do all that if you're a large family. You can't do all that if you're a retiree. And so for you, your risk factors are higher if you go somewhere like Gabon that decided to kick out Americans out of nowhere. If you go somewhere like Mali that closed the door to Americans. If you even go somewhere like Togo or Ghana in West Africa, where that entire region is becoming unstable due to World War III. If you go to somewhere in Eastern Europe where it's like, well, Russia could take over, who knows if they're going to be kind during their takeover process or not. These are the things that we discuss in the Mature Adult Intensive. These are the things that you need to talk to your spouse, to your loved ones, or to yourself. If you talking to yourself and you researching, figure those things out, because safety comes before lifestyle. Safety comes before cutesy Instagram graphics. Safety comes before cutesy festivals. And oh, I love this culture. It does not matter if you are not safe. And safe for locals is not necessarily going to be the same as safe for you, because you are an American. No matter how much you thought that you were African or that you were just a globe trotter, you are American. You are an American.
The Globetrotters, guys. Comment below if you remember the Globetrotters, the basketball team. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I know what you was talking about.
They used to be sweet. Yeah, they used to dribble and stuff. Yeah.
I'm done. You're funny.
But yeah, it's getting serious, y'all. Like, for real. Yeah. I'm sorry. That threw me off. Yeah. Comment below if you remember though.
You're funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this video. Pay attention to Greenland. You should not be wasting your time paying attention to gossip radio, gossip TV, whoever's fighting whoever in the States. That stuff is such a waste of time.
Big distraction.
You should be purchasing gold, silver, and paying attention to the times. Staying in Psalms 91, Psalms 144, just the entire book of Psalms, the entire Bible. These are really the only activities that you should be doing right now in these times.
Yeah, and invest in your mindset. Invest in a skill set too. And stock up, because we still don't know about this government shutdown that's supposed to be happening at the end of the month. So I did want to say that too, because I know it's a lot of things going on in America, especially like with ICE and stuff and protests with that. It's protests everywhere. So you got to move wise in these times. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like it. Comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we will talk to you in the next one. Shalom.
Yep. Shalom, shalom.